Well,
The message is, I'm just going to keep sneaking around then because...
Right. Well, that was like me and my mom. I mean, we really didn't have that great of a relationship. And, forget talking. And the moment she said, don't do, you better believe I did because she said don't do.
Yeah.
Not, don't do because this is what will happen. And explaining the whole process of what that don't do. Why are you telling me not to do? It was like, I mean, that love-hate relationship, and you tell me not to do something, well, I'm already thinking that you really don't like me to begin with. So you just don't want me to be happy. That's why you're telling me don't do. Instead of, well, what's an alcoholic? Don't drink alcohol. Well, alcohol, you drink it, and hey, man, you wake up in garbage cans. And you don't understand why. But yeah, I mean, when you're using it as a tool like that, that's important.
It is important. And it's important to, if something is out there, it's important to hear and really realize what they're trying to do. So if they accomplish that at any level, because let's face it, with all the stations out there, our kids, anybody's kids can go anywhere and see anything.
Right.
But if they're putting it in a school setting and saying this is what, I'm sure it's going to be extreme because it's a show. We always do extremes.
Shock value is good, but there again, it depends on what school, because I'm sure those big schools, where Chet was going down there in Florida, I'm sure that was a whole lot different than, a country school.
And I bet in most cases that it does happen in every school. It's just that it's lesser in some schools than in others. So that extreme might be lesser. Not even by population, but by area, area. And, but yeah, I think we would all be a little shocked. But, I think back about some of the things that I remember happening in high school way back. And now I think, wow, I mean, that is pretty shocking. I didn't think it was that shocking back then when I would hear certain things that were going on at school, like kids behind the dugouts or, things that skipping class and making out and doing all those things, Well,
I think that's kind of like part of, I mean, I remember I only skipped school once. I was a good little girl.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, I was a good, sheltered little girl.
Well, and I think the communication in the schools, especially in this area, it's really good because if, for instance, when my mother died and we left, and we had called the school and said, could you get Victor's homework? And they were great. We had called the office, but I still got that phone call, automated phone call that night that said your child was not in school today.
See, then that's something that Brevard didn't do. When Chet was up here with me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they didn't call me up and say, hey, do you know that your son's not in school? Where is he?
Yeah, and it's just an automated.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it's automated or not. That's important.
That's what I mean.
Because if you don't get a phone call that your kid's not in school, how are you supposed to know?
Yeah, that's right.
And that was, I mean, I don't know quite how many that he had gone through.
Because you were shocked.
Yeah.
You were totally shocked that had happened.
Hey, Mom.
Everyone was wondering if he could talk to you after the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so...
Aaron.
Hi,
what,
Aaron.
You don't want to come and sit down?
Well, I forgot about it. That's why I told you yesterday on Facebook that I wouldn't be able to do it today.
Okay.
I thought you ended at 5.
Oh, no. We're till 5:30. But we're going to be talking about something very important. And if you would like to sit down, you're more than welcome. Or if you want to hang out, you're... Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's Aaron. We're going to talk to him after the show because this is something that is very important. We had talked about doing the meet and greet, and it started out with myself and the I Chings to meet you guys, to meet our fans and say hey, and what do you like, what don't you like, and all that kind of good stuff. And then it grew into inviting all of the producers to come to Firestorm Cafe to meet the people, and it's going to be kind of like a party because there's quite a few people that are going to be coming. No, there isn't any alcohol, so you can bring that 1-year-old child. I did get a question. Somebody had asked that. So anyhow, this is some really important information because recently the membership fees have been raised outside of the Asheville limits, they are, huh? No, we can say that, I
Okay.
think. Anyhow, they're being raised. But more important to that, because it does affect quite a lot of producers, and it's like we're not getting paid, and this comes out of our pocket. The programming comes out of our pocket, and it costs, and we do have a passion in order to educate the people, and that's why I do it, because it certainly is not for the pay, because it's not for the pay. Anyhow, Buncombe County receives nearly $2 million, $2 million every year from cable companies across the state. This money groups into two pools: cable franchise fees and PEG supplemental fees. By law, the county must distribute PEG supplemental fees to PEG channels. Buncombe County has two channels it certifies to the state: Buncombe County TV, that is BCTV, and URTV, respectively. This pool of money is small, less than $40,000 a year, which the company will split between the two channels. This cost is passed on from cable and satellite companies to their customers on their monthly bills. So, that's a lot of money. So why are we not getting it? Do we wonder? The cable franchise fees are a much larger pool of money, to the tune of $1.7 million for 2011. This money is collected from cable companies and satellite companies to use public land to lay their cable and infrastructure. This money is collected with the express intent to support PEG channels. However, municipalities are not required by law to distribute the PEG channels. Buncombe County has received more than, 30 million from cable companies? $30 million has been received by Buncombe County? And URTV has received around $1 million over the last 5 years. That breaks down to about $200,000 a year, which is the exact amount requested by the Board of Directors from the county last year. Instead, the county has reduced its support 80% to just under $20,000.
So how does the county get to do that?
Well, that's where we're going to have to rile up the troops and say, hey, man, if you like your URTV, then we've got to do something about it.
We have got.
And that's the important word, is we. What can we do about it? Because you look at any of the other programming on any of the other local stations around here, you are not going to see the local stories, the local interest groups, and okay, some of it's entertaining, some of it's not. I cannot say that I watch every show on URTV. I would be lying to say that I like all the shows on URTV, but I can change the channel if I don't like the show. So that's the important thing. If you don't like the channel, or if you don't like what the show, change the channel.
So Buncombe County will receive around.
Buncombe County will receive $2 million next year from the cable companies, and will only distribute $20,000 for public access here in Asheville, Buncombe County.
So you got to ask yourself, everybody out there, why? How can this be? Why
right.
out of
why?
that?
Why?
Out of $2 million.
Well, look at the shows that we have on URTV. Who's calling their hey man, we want to wipe your hiney. Looks like you guys can't. What's really happening in...
This is our voice, but this is our voice.
Right.
And they don't want us talking, apparently.
That's what I'm saying. You know what's really going on in Western North Carolina? Citizen Speaks, Dan Brown, Democracy Now!, Bill Moyer's Journal, Global Report.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we do, educate and entertain with about the same, I'd say, with the information that we get out there. But look at the information that Kelly Beard brings us.
Yeah, but read this sentence again. I think this is for all of our viewers. Try to digest this because I can't.
Buncombe County will receive around $2 million next year from the cable companies. Now, that's not your taxes, okay? That is from the cable companies. And they're only gonna distribute $20,000 for public access here in Asheville.
Okay, you all are hearing that out there, right?
So that's why the rates went up, because the county doesn't support, so connected.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yes, so that's why the rates we've had to
Yeah. Oh,
increase
trust
the
me,
rates for
URTV
for
is a
members.
great place, and if they would be receiving, the rates would not have, been, put up there. But they have to do what they have to do in order to keep URTV operating,
Or
because
else-
it's important.
Yes.
Yeah, our hands are tied.
Yeah, our hands are completely tied. Again, let me read
Here, you
that
wanna read that
sentence
one?
one more time. Buncombe County will receive around $2 million next year from the cable companies, not from you, not from your taxes, from the cable companies themselves.
From the fee that's on your monthly cable bill?
Yes, it's a fee on your monthly cable bill. It has nothing to do with us.
No taxes.
Not tax.
No,
It's not tax,
No. This is law, and it wasn't this local.
But
law.
our county, our Buncombe County commissioners are out of $2 million.
What do you mean they're out of? They've
No,
got
no,
$2
no,
million.
Listen, that's not what I said. I said out of $2 million
Right.
that they're receiving,
Right.
they're giving us 20,000.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
so
yeah.
where is the rest of this money going? I want to know.
Oh, whose pocket?
Yeah, and so what they want to do is take away our voice. They're making it impossible
Right.
for us to run. So because of that, if people want to know why the county residents now, why we've had to increase to pay more money to be a member,
Right.
why? The rate, because the county isn't doing what it's supposed to do. Not even a small percentage of what they're supposed to do.
And one of the great things about URTV, I've been here. It's coming up on 4 years. And when I first started, there wasn't all this good stuff that's been going on. We didn't stream live. Let me see we didn't have the radio. All these things that I'm taking for granted now we didn't have. The CG wasn't working. The blue screen, I don't know if we had that in or not. That was in or out sometimes. Anyhow, URTV's value can be quantified. Here's a breakdown of URTV and the Media Center over the last 4 years. 12,000 equipment checkouts, 10,000 visits to the Media Center, 2,500 students graduated through our certification classes. 1,725,939.47 hours of use. How many is that? Can you read that one? I mean, that's almost 2 million hours of use.
Yeah, that's almost 2 million.
And look at this.
The value of the use.
The value of the use. If we were to have to go and pay in order
to do what we're doing.
to do what we do, we would have to spend, drum roll please.
3,000.
No, that's million.
I mean, $3,832,746.07.
Yeah.
That's the value of the use.
Yeah.
Which is
Almost
incredible.
$4 million.
If you think about what's going on here. So why is the county getting away with this? Why are the commissioners getting away with this?
That's our First Amendment, people. It's holding our government accountable. We can speak. We can gather peaceably and go down there and say, hey, man, where's the money?
Yeah.